And it's been another week. As you can tell from the title, this is about how I have spent the last month not logging into Facebook. Not true. I logged into Facebook 5 times to upload the updates. But about a week before the US election, I had had enough of what was going on in there, and I took Facebook off of my phone. And I stopped getting notifications. And I was like, that's great. It's just like the time I took YouTube, the YouTube app, off my phone. When Craig mentioned that he had done that, because he was always, anytime YouTube comments were coming in, he couldn't help himself and he was checking them. And I did the exact same thing. Any YouTube stuff, and it always drew my attention away from whatever else I was doing. Took Facebook off my phone and I was like, this is great. Immediately, when I deleted it from my phone, I was like, I hadn't decided then that I wasn't going to log onto the website either, but I just didn't. And the first couple days, there's this thing where I have a lull at work, you know? I've been writing whatever I've been writing. When I get to a natural end point or a natural break point, I would just like click on Facebook, and during those points in the day, it was like back when I was a smoker, you know? Like I would always have that, oh, it's time for a cigarette. Like at the end of that break, I would just type in Facebook. My fingers just did it. And I'd be like, nope, delete, 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 delete. But automatically, my fingers found the Facebook letters and was just gonna take me there. I've stayed on Twitter, and I've stayed doing Instagram and everything, but I haven't engaged with Facebook in over a month now. Now comes the time-lapsing, because I feel like productivity-wise, it has actually helped me quite a bit. This isn't a like everybody should get off Facebook thing. That's not what it's about at all. But just in that short amount of time, it's actually made me a little bit happier because I spend a lot more time doing other things. And Twitter, which used to be the place where I felt was more hateful, I realized it doesn't make me feel as negative as I thought it did. Facebook was actually supplying a lot of that negativity. Twitter is much briefer and requires a lot less time investment. And the comments, you actually have to, you just see what people are saying. If you want to engage in the conversation that's spawned by those tweets, you have to actually open them up and go into the thing and all that stuff. Whereas on Facebook, like, right after a post, all of the comments are right there and you just get sucked into this, like, hole of negativity. And I just couldn't do it. So I've actually been getting a lot more work done. Not just work, but like my work, like my creative work. And as you can see in these time lapses, I've spent a lot of time, pretty much every night. These time lapses aren't from this last week, they're from the week before. Starting with that Sunday one, it's literally all day. I worked on the show pretty much. And then the other nights, some nights I had a couple hours to work on the show, and some nights I only had like 1 hour or so to work on the show. It's kind of the point in the post-production process where every time I'm not actively working on editing the show or doing visual effects, I feel like I'm letting myself down. And at that point, usually, I even stop doing updates. Like this happened back in episode 6, toward the end of episode 6, because the visual effects took so much longer than I thought. Much like this time, I felt in my chest that I couldn't afford to take the time to do the updates. So that's when we had updates from Eliza did quite a few updates, and we had an update from Chris, and one from Craig, and one from Carlin, and then Joe Van Awesome. He did an update for me, and so like I would just kind of stayed down in my hole, and Eliza edited all of those updates back then. So I'm trying to not like disappear from the updates as well. I'm trying to actually keep both things going. And this weekend, I mean, I pre-recorded this update because this weekend we are in Austin. I am at Butnamathon, and I'm sure I'm just beside myself with joy. So obviously I haven't gone like crazy person obsessed. Haven't turned this desk into a bunker where I can't allow outside information in and just work. But it has gotten to that point where I feel like the puppet string from the center of my chest, like pulling at me at all times, trying to make me edit. But yeah, so I've been spending a lot of time doing that, and I just thought I'd mention, aside from uploading updates, I haven't been on Facebook. And the other benefit of that is now when I see people, they have to tell me what they've been up to, because I haven't been following their Facebook life. As well as kind of hiding my head in the sand. You know, maybe it's just the coward's way out. I don't want to deal with all of the noise of the current political situation and everything that everybody has to say about things like that. But yeah, it's been nice. It's been very, very nice. So since we're at Butnamathon this week, let's go back to some of the Button-Up-A-Thon conversation we've had. That's the Pops logo. Right up here is Guzzling, mine and Craig's video that got us into Button-Up-A-Thon, or the bonus video, and then that one is the first time I talked about my Button-Up-A-Thon application. I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you next week.